tonight. For Wednesday night, partly cloudy, low 58. Sunshine Thursday, the high 82. And a little warmer Friday with sunny skies, high 86. From the WTBQ Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jim Rinaldi.
The opinions expressed in this program reflect only those of the participants and are not necessarily those of the sponsors, management, or staff of WTBQ Radio or FST Broadcasting Corporation.
WTBQ.
Good morning, everybody. We are here on the Nonprofit Notebook with Anquinette Hayles, and I'm going to let Anquinette introduce her guest. Go ahead, Anquinette.
Thank you so much, Taylor. Today we have Liz Carino, who is the Director of Behavioral Supports at Greystone Program.
Okay, do you want to just go ahead and tell them a little bit about what that entails?
Yeah, Liz, go ahead and tell us what you do at Greystone.
Thank you, Anquinette. Again, my name is Liz Carino. I'm the Director of Behavioral Supports at Greystone. So behavioral supports, we, definitely have an eclectic list of, responsibilities. But first and foremost, we incorporate applied behavior analysis, or ABA, and mental health supports to assist individuals with intellectual and other developmental disabilities. What's I think is unique about our department at Greystone is that, we use the principles of ABA. So really ABA is, a systematic approach looking at how the environment impacts behavior and what supports we can put in place to help, decrease challenging behavios.
Liz, what does ABA stand for?
ABA stands for Applied Behavior Analysis.
Okay. Because a lot of people don't know what those acronyms are, like me.
Sure. Our field has a lot of acronyms, so yeah, absolutely.
So,
but with applied behavior analysis, we're really looking at behavior change. So some of the, people that we work with may have some barriers, in terms of communicating their wants and needs. So we look at ways to help, teach individuals more, functionally appropriate behaviors.
So are there classes for these individuals, or is that a one-on-one thing?
So we have currently 5 behavior specialists. So these behavior specialists, if anyone, is not familiar specifically with Greystone, Greystone has a very large residential program with 17 group homes. So each behavior specialist is assigned to approximately 3 of those group homes. And they work, first with the individuals who live in those group homes. And they also work with the DSPs, or the direct support professionals. They work with the staff in terms of, working with the staff, training staff how to, work with individuals and, foster, more functional, independent skills.
What are the age group of the people you work with?
The age group that we currently work with is 21 up until, I don't know how old the oldest individual is, but I want to say, late 70s, early 80s.
Oh, okay. So you don't really work with younger children in this program?
Well, in my program specifically, we don't. We do have another, community program that does work with children, but our specific department, we primarily support the residential program, which is adults, with developmental disabilities. And we also support our 2 day programs, so Project Fame and Club Atlas.
What are those?
So Project Fame is what's called a day hab without walls. So that's located in Dutchess County in Poughkeepsie. So that's where, individuals, they meet in the morning at one central location, and then they do jobs throughout the day out in the community. I know they do, Meals on Wheels. They go to different animal shelters, just different, jobs around the community. So it's primarily without walls, meaning it's that, they're not going to one central location.
So
they're going to all different sites.
Do you train them for that type of volunteer work, or do they actually get paid for a job, or how does that work?
So behavioral supports, we work on behavior, so functional behavior. So if you think of behavior in terms of a hierarchy, so we work on socially significant behavior. So first we would address behavior. So, some individuals who are, who have developmental or intellectual disabilities, who may have a hard time communicating, may first display behaviors that could harm themselves or others. So we're always going to address those behaviors first. And then, we go through the hierarchy in terms of, okay, what are some other socially significant behaviors? So we may work with individuals in terms of them, communicating their wants and needs instead of, displaying any type of, difficult behavior. And, as people progress, we teach them more independent functional skills. So if it was in a day program, could work on sorting, counting, even in a program, being able to, travel, in a vehicle safely. And then we have, another day program, Club Atlas, that's within walls, which means that, individuals, they report to one site. And they, work on those different, vocational skills, but at that, one location.
So do you do, obviously there's got to be evaluations, right? So that you know what level they're at, that you can assign them to maybe go to an animal shelter or, somewhere else that you would suggest. So how long does that process take before you can make an assertion about where they should go?
So, with, applied behavior analysis or ABA, we are very data driven. So we look at the data, we look at, people's behavior, throughout the day. We look at, what people are, able to complete, what kind of, functional skills, first looking at, is somebody able to, to travel, in a van and go to, different sites throughout the day, because that could be, quite stressful, on some individuals. Then we look at, what skills that person has. Is the person able to, sort? Is the person able to follow one-step directions? Are they able to follow, multiple-step directions and able to, make a delivery to, different locations?
So do you
it really depends on the person.
Do you do that evaluation?
We don't specifically do that evaluation. That would be our director of day services. They would be the ones who would actually do that. Usually where we come in is where somebody might have like a barrier to that. Like I said, maybe somebody is having, some difficulty, traveling safely in the van, or maybe somebody, I know we do outreach at one of the local churches, teaching somebody how to have like appropriate skills, when they're at the church, in terms of, keeping their voice down and, following directions and that type of thing.
Is there anybody, because I know a friend of mine was developing this course of how to teaching young adults how to apply for a job who are, maybe who have that autism or something similar to that or on a different level. Do you have any programs like that help people to learn how to go to apply for a position, learn how to be interviewed?
Yes, we do have what's called a SEMP program, and don't quote me on what SEMP stands for, unless Anquinette knows. Even there's some acronyms that I don't even know. But I know we have a program where individuals are taught job skills, and they have, been able to have jobs in the community and earn a wage. We have a few individuals who work at a local pharmacy, and they're able to go in, complete their different, job tasks and leave. So, I mean, that's the ultimate goal, right? Everybody wants to have like meaningful employment. So yeah, we do have a program where we work on that.
Yeah, to me, it's so wonderful if you have people that have some of these challenges, that they can actually, the amount of confidence they could build themselves to be able to do that, and also the time it takes to do it, so it makes them feel fulfilled. And I'm sure their families, too. I think that's a great way for everybody to realize that no matter what your challenges in life, you can find a way to make it work for you.
Absolutely. And our program currently has 6 participants, and I'm not sure what the acronym stands for either, but I do know that the program that has 6 participants who are already placed in employment is the Turning Stone program.
Okay.
And that's led by...
I'm sorry, we really have to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to talk more about Greystone program, so you can find out how you can get in touch with them and find out more. We'll be right back.
Greystone Programs is a nonprofit human services agency that provides essential services to more than 600 children, adults, and families living with autism and other developmental disabilities. Greystone Programs also provides residential support in a community environment with 17 homes in the Mid-Hudson Valley area. Greystone Programs offers exceptional care and support for a variety of programs and services. To get involved or for more information, visit greystoneprograms.org.
Hi, this is Tom Lovelace. Join me and my guest every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for the Lovelace Music Experience. Exciting interviews and great music from every genre, right here, playing the best music.
WTBQ.
Okay, we are back on the Nonprofit Notebook, and we're here with Anquinette Hayles, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm really bad with last names, just so you know.
That's okay.
And Liz, what's your last name?
Carino.
Carino. Okay. So we are here with them. We're talking about, a lot of the services that Greystone Programs has. So, talk a little more about that and how you work with people.
So I had, mentioned before that we use applied behavior analysis. We also have 2 licensed social workers in our department, and that really helps us, work on, emotional regulation, coping strategies, and, really different types of, mindfulness. Mindfulness is, I feel like that's a term that is used in a lot of different fields, just in, society in general, being really, when people are anybody starting to get stressed out or, life is just a lot. We focus on, what is in our control, what can we do here and now. So we do have, 2 licensed social workers who work for the department because, people, may be diagnosed with autism or developmental disability. Often there may be co-occurring psychiatric diagnoses
Right.
With that diagnosis of autism. So we really try to, be cognitive of, both of those aspects, the applied behavior analysis in terms of a systematic approach of, teaching people, different skills and, how to decrease challenging behavior. But we also want to look at, some of those co-occurring psychiatric diagnoses and how we can, really look at emotional regulation and coping strategies.
Right. And so is there a time limit on the people that are going through all these courses? And do you say, like, okay, after 6 months, you are now able to go on your own? Or do a lot of the people stay with you on the program every day?
Yeah, so support is ongoing. So the people, the behavioral supports department, the people that we support, they do live in, 24-hour residential care.
But you have people that do day hab too, right?
Yes. Yep. We have some people who do day hab as well. So, people who do day hab, they may work, towards gaining, independent employment. And then people in our residential program, the ultimate goal would be to be able to live more independently. So the people we're supporting right now, they are supported, 24 hours a day by direct support professionals. But ideally, the more independence that someone learns, they're able to develop emotional regulation, and coping strategies. We would like, somebody to move on to a supportive apartment, where maybe staff need to, check in on the person, see if they need any help, any support, because ultimately the goal is always to be as independent as possible.
Yeah, and parents, that's their whole goal with their children who have special needs and, obviously challenges in life. Their goal is they know they're not going to live forever, and they want to know that their children or young adults that they have now will be able to, have a life of their own, even if they're not around. And so I think that's such a great service that Greystone is doing. How many people can you have I know you said you have 17 homes. How many people can be totally in all those 17 homes?
I want to say roughly in our 17 homes that we have live with us, I want to say, I know it's over 100, between 100 and 110, individuals live with, Greystone residentially. And
I assume there's an evaluation done when people contact you about having... Now, do they contact you and say, I'd like my son or daughter to be involved in the programs where they're living 24 hours at their specific house? Or how does that work?
So the behavior specialists, we automatically support all of the houses, because those 17 houses do require, 24-hour staffing. Each house is assigned a behavior specialist. So that behavior specialist, works with each individual who lives in that house. So if the person is, eligible for services and they're accepted into one of our group homes, once they're accepted, we start working with them, right away. We look at their behaviors, we look at the functions of their behaviors or why those behaviors occur. We do an evaluation. And then from that evaluation, we develop what's called a behavior support plan. So those are specific proactive and reactive strategies for staff or DSPs. And we train those staff to work with the individuals.
And they can stay there as long as they have to, or is there a time limit? How does that work?
There's not a time limit. No, if somebody has a need, once they live, in a group home, that is their home, just like the house I live in and
right.
Anquinette lives in. Yeah, that's absolutely, their lifetime home.
Do they get meals there, and do they live in their own room? How does it work socially also?
Socially, we try as much as possible for, individuals to have their own bedroom. Who wouldn't want their own bedroom? So I know a lot of our new developments, we work as much as possible for each individual to have their own bedroom. Some people, may share a bedroom. But yeah, it's, just how things would work in your own home, just in terms of, taking care of the house, preparing meals.
So they have
going
chores.
On outings.
Do they have chores in the house, and do they all eat together?
Yes. So both. So meals are together, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But that doesn't mean, sometimes you might not feel like eating dinner with everybody else. So that's okay. If you decide to, eat a little earlier or a little later, that's okay too. But generally, meals are together. And yes, absolutely, chores, we all have lots of household chores to do. So it depends on the individual skill level. So we have some individuals who, may be able to, clean their room and, make their bed on their own, and others where we may have teaching programs to help them, learn how to make their bed, learn how to shower independently, learn how to prepare a meal.
And while they're living in the house, are there Is there like a school type thing? Do they have studying? Is there anything like assigned that they have to do at specific times during the day, or is there a time they have to go to bed, or how does that work?
That's all, we support adults. So, people go to bed, when they're tired and they want to go to bed. Of course, we follow a structured routine. So, some people who are on the autism spectrum or who have developmental disabilities really rely on structure and routine. So we will have, active treatment schedules that people follow that may include, some leisure activities, may include some chores, meals, and then, but in terms of that, it can be also very loose too.
Depends
some
on
days I might want to go to the grocery store, and then other days I might not want to. So it's definitely a balance between structure, but also, promoting individuals making their own choices.
Now, how many people do you have living there who work for Greystone that kind of take care of what's happening in the house?
It really depends on the house, what the staffing ratio, dictates. So we could have, I believe, 5 to 9 individuals live in a home. And then staffing, it really depends on an individual's needs, their medical needs, their behavioral needs, in terms of how the house is staffed.
Right. So you have, I guess they have shifts because nobody's going to work 24 hours. So.
Yes, no, we don't expect anybody to work 24 hours. Yes, we do. We have 3 shifts every day.
And if do you have a need for anybody to be hired? I mean, are you looking for people to either volunteer or to come in for a job interview in case someone's listening and may be interested?
Absolutely. We are always looking and taking applications. So if anyone's interested, they can always go apply on our website at greystoneprograms.org. And, let us know what they're interested in when they apply, and someone will definitely get back to them.
What kind of, Anquinette, what kind of degrees are you looking for people, depending on obviously what position they're applying for? Because obviously some positions require certain types of education.
Yeah, so you definitely have to have a high school diploma. Some positions, like you said, do require a higher level of education, like a bachelor's and even a master's. But it all depends on what you're looking for and what you're applying, what position you're going to apply to. And then there are some level of certifications, but I do know that Greystone is pretty generous with their continuing education. And so if there's someone out there that's willing and has the heart for this line of work, we want you, and we want you to apply. And, the doors are open, again, for just people who have a heart for this work, because it takes a special kind of person to come in to do what we do at Greystone.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We have about less than a minute left. And I just wanted to, again, say, if you are interested in finding out more for yourself or your family or a family member or a friend that may be interested, you can go to greystoneprograms.org. And, if you're interested in a position, should they contact you, Anquinette?
They can contact us via the website about anything that they heard today. But, yeah, definitely, and they can follow us on social media, but definitely want to stay connected to anyone that's interested, even if they're interested in volunteering or giving in any way to what we are doing here at Greystone. We appreciate it, and we want to connect.
Yeah, absolutely. So people who are listening, again, think about people in your life. Everybody knows someone who has maybe a young adult or a child even that has special needs, or, they're challenged with certain things. Here's a place where they could find a space where they're comfortable and safe and, be able to be citizens. And what a great way to do it with Greystone programs. So Anquinette and Liz, I want to thank you very much for coming on the air. It was great information. Really important that people know, what you have to offer.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Taylor, and thank you so much for today. And I hope the biggest takeaway is that we are doing exceptional work at Greystone, and we, again, want to stay connected to our followers and our listeners and our community members, because it's important.
Yeah, very important. And important for people to have the right information. So thank you so much, and hopefully we'll be seeing you next time on Nonprofit Notebook.
It's the annual Onion Festival, Sunday.